Meet Pip. He is a small, heavy machine built entirely out of spherical parts. He has one singular objective. He wants to fly. Without any tools or aerodynamic understanding whatsoever, he spots a small rock, takes a running start, and leaps. Gravity takes over instantly. He hits the dirt with a heavy, metallic thud, and his rounded shoulders slump in defeat. In his mind, this physical limitation means he will never get off the ground. He believes his heavy design dictates his destiny. Whether you process the world neurotypically or neurodivergently, watching him sit motionless in the dirt feels like a definitive end to his goal. Let's pause here. We've known this fictional collection of metal for less than 30 seconds. Why do we care that he crashed? The answer is shape language. If we break down Pip's silhouette, he is constructed exclusively from circular forms. Human brains are wired to process these rounded, soft edges as safe and warm. That processing happens in milliseconds, completely bypassing conscious thought. Because this relies on basic geometry rather than cultural cues, a bubbly, spherical character reads as friendly and vulnerable to almost anyone on Earth. Pip's visual geometry was engineered precisely so that his physical failure would trigger your empathy. Animation studios follow a specific rule. A flawless character lacks the tension needed to hold an audience. This chart shows two contrasting narrative arcs. A flawless character creates a flat line, but a character's limitation, like a heavy metal build, is the vital engine that forces the plot to move forward. We invest in a hero because we recognize their vulnerability, and we want to see them fight through their limitations. So Pip tries again. This time he straps on a pair of massive, hastily assembled mechanical wings. He climbs higher, but a sudden gust of wind catches the fragile construction, snapping the joints and knocking Pip violently back to the ground. This second crash is harsh, but it proves he is willing to struggle. The obstacle forces him to grow. What Pip needs now is a psychological tool, the not yet mindset. This approach reframes a mistake. A crash doesn't mean the attempt is over. It provides raw data points in the middle of a continuous process. Looking at his wrecked wings, Pip reviews his new data, heads to the workbench, and drafts a different, highly angular glider. The geometry of this new design relies on squares. Blocky, rigid proportions communicate groundedness, strength, and structural reliability. Pip physically merges his soft, vulnerable, circular nature with this tough, reliable square framework to create a balanced structure. Hard work alone won't suffice. Growth requires building new, structurally sound foundations to support your vulnerabilities. Pip returns to the edge of a high cliff, tightly secured inside his blocky new glider. There is no majestic, cinematic leap. His takeoff is chaotic, bumpy, and awkward. He drops sharply off the cliff face in a terrifying freefall until the rigid square wings finally catch an updraft and level out. Resilient effort and structural adaptation are what actually get him off the ground. We watch stories like this because they function as psychological mirrors for our own lives. Normalizing a character's struggle helps us process our own daily, frustrating challenges. That tension you feel failing a math test, facing social rejection, or missing a critical shot is exactly what Pip felt in the dirt. Failing your first attempt doesn't make you a failure. It means you're in the middle of your story, right before you figure it out.